Today's topic is recovery, and this is Tips with Trev, the show where I give developing baseball players some easy tips to end their slumps faster and become a superstar sooner. Let's do it. Okay, on the topic of recovery, there are a lot of ways you can recover, and I'm going to cover one of my favorite things to use. It's called a Mark Pro. It looks like this. It is kind of interesting. So I'm going to put it on while I'm talking to you guys. I'm going to show you some of the things that go into it. It's got some cables here, all right, and it's got some pads. And so you plug the cables in on one side to the unit. You got your little sticky pads here, and you're going to plug the other ends in to the sticky pads. And then these actually go on your body. So if I was going to be recovering my elbow, I might put one on the inside here to get the flexor and the pronator, and I might put one on the outside of my elbow over here to cover the extensors, all right? And what happens when you turn this on, hopefully it's charged, you can see my arm is twitching. Kind of interesting. So why do I like this? And what does it actually do? Well, it's known as a lymphatic pump. It's some big words. Basically, to distill it down into simple terms, if you've heard of lactic acid and this idea that you need to run to get the lactic acid out, that's kind of how you can think about this, all right? It's not exactly what's going on, but lymphatic system in the body is meant to flush out waste. When you work out, there's certain chemical reactions that happen in the body, and there's certain chemical waste that is produced by the body, and then you get sore, you get fatigued, these things signal to the body to recover, and it starts the recovery process. Well, this aids the body in flushing those out and getting new blood and new nutrients and new hormone signals to the areas that are affected, and so it aids in recovery. So it's complicated. I don't even understand it fully. I think there's people that study the human body and the responses for their entire life and still never understand it fully. But this is how I think about it. It gets new blood to the area, and it helps flush out the bad stuff and bring in the good stuff and aid in the recovery. That's how I think about it. So this is what I would do. It's passive. I would put these pads on if I was trying to recover my elbow. I like to go inside, outside. I like to go top and on the bicep. And so I get this like pumping action going on, but it's a passive recovery tool. So I'm not flexing and tiring myself out. I'm just relaxed, and it's pumping the muscles. So I can wear it for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Sometimes I've worn it overnight, and I don't get fatigued. It just helps the body aid in the natural process of recovery. One thing that I do want to talk about with it is I use it in between innings, actually. There's some good research that's come out about when you use it in between innings, you are less sore after the game. So it actually lessens the effect of delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS. And you actually maintain your velocity deeper into the game, which is a good thing, obviously. So I adopted this 3 or 4 years ago now. I've been wearing it in between every inning. I'll come in, I'll go underneath the dugout, I'll put a pad here, I'll put a pad here, I'll put the pad on top, and I'll put the pad on my bicep, and I sit there and watch video, and my arm's twitching like this and all that. I would love to put it on my shoulder as well, but it's hard. You got jersey on, you got an undershirt on, you're super sweaty up there, like taking that stuff off to put the pads on, it's a little bit difficult. So I just wear it on my elbow during the inning, and then when the inning is over, I take the pads off, put them back on their little thing here, set it down, and go out to pitch. Now with the time clock, it gets a little bit difficult because the extra 15 or 20 seconds that I take to take the pads off are less throws that I get out on the mound. But that being said, I feel a lot better throughout the game. I don't get nearly as sore. I noticed a big jump when I started using it in how sore I was the next day. I was way less sore. I feel fresh throughout the game. And I know that I'm doing what I can to help my body recover and aid in the recovery. So I'll use it during the game, and then I'll use it again after the game. If I'm sore on my legs, if I'm just really, maybe it was really hot that day and I had a long outing and my legs are really worn down, I'll use it there sometimes. I use it on my shoulder, I use it on my elbow, and I really enjoy the effects that it gives me. It aids in the recovery. It allows me to train harder more often, which allows me to get closer to game levels and practice skills that I would be using in-game at game intensities instead of practicing at 90% or 80% or 70% and not really being able to practice the same thing. So very important if you're on a heavy lifting program, if you're on a heavy conditioning program, throwing program, anything like that, if you have high volumes, if you have high intensities, very important to take care of your recovery, and the Mark Pro is a great place to start. I believe they're about $500. There's different levels of them that you can get, some that have an actual stim machine and the kind of the pump part of it on the same machine. Mine, I got it many years ago, probably in 2012. I've had it for 8 years now, and it's just the pump, and that's the thing that I like the most, and it helps. I've used it a ton, and it's held up really well. It's been a great investment for me over those 8 years. I've gotten a lot of utility out of it, and it's still going strong. Never had any problems with it. You replace the pads and you replace the wires every now and then, but really good recovery tool, really good machine. I would highly recommend it. If you're serious about baseball and serious about training and serious about your health, make the investment. And just so you know, they haven't sponsored this video at all. This is not me pumping their product for their gain or anything like that. I bought this unit myself. I'm just trying to bring you guys information about the things that I use and things that can help you out in the future. So this is not a sponsored video at all, but this is something that I use and I really believe in, so I wanted to share that with you guys. So that's it for today, the Mark Pro. Why you would use it, some of the ways of how you would use it. They have good documentation online actually of different places you can put pads if you're feeling soreness, places not to put pads over your heart, on your head, stuff like that. It's electric stimulation, so you want to just be smart about where you're putting them. But for anything training wise, your back, your legs, your elbow, shoulders, anything like that, really, really a great machine. So I would highly recommend looking into it at least, if not purchasing one. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Help me out, trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Share this channel with friends or teammates or whoever that might get some value out of it. I'm trying to provide as much free value and help as many people as possible. So that would really help me out. Hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, just hit that thumbs up anyway. You're not going to remember that you did it, but it will help me out. So that'll be good. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see more of, what you liked about this video, what you didn't like, any questions you have about Mark Pro or any other recovery tools, any topics you'd like me to cover in the future. So without further ado, have a great day. Miss seeing you guys out at the ballpark, and yeah, be well.